نكاح مبارك
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to another episode in the series Marriage and Divorce. With me here is Sheikh Haitham Al Haddad. Previously, we have been through the procedure of how to get married. So we covered the steps of how to propose, and we are now at the stage of the actual marriage, the nikah. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We ended the last episode on the conditions of the nikah, what makes it valid. We spoke about the definition of the nikah, and we then moved on to the conditions. The first condition that you spoke about was to be free from obstacles.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. We said that there are a few conditions, and they are mandatory for the nikah to be valid. Those conditions can be classified in different ways. Some conditions are related to the two parties who are involved, and those conditions are general conditions. And some of them are specific conditions.
Okay.
In order to simplify the discussion for our audience, we need to discuss the conditions that are specific to the aqd of nikah, to the nikah contract, not the conditions that talk about any contract. So we will be speaking about the conditions related to the aqd of nikah, to the nikah contract. The first condition, the first main condition, is that both parties have to be free from any obstacle that stops them from carrying a valid nikah.
Okay.
Both parties have to be free from any obstacle that stops them from carrying a valid nikah. What does that mean? There are certain obstacles, if they do exist in the male or in the female, then both of them or any of them will not be qualified to carry a valid contract, a valid nikah contract. We will not go into much details, but I will mention the most important obstacles. First of all, there are some obstacles related to the wife-to-be or to the lady. She should not be engaged in any form of marriage. Okay? She should not be engaged in any form of, again, Islamic marriage. Whether she is actually married or she is in her iddah period. Let me clarify this more. So this is the first condition that we will be talking about now. Okay? If the lady is currently married, it is not allowed for any other man to marry her. Now, I'm sure audience might laugh. They might say, what are you talking about? No. First of all, we need to clarify it as a theory, and then we need to say that sometimes people do fall into mistakes regarding this. For example, it happened that we in the Islamic Sharia Council received a question. I know it is an odd case, but I will explain the very common cases. That a person sent us an email. He said that he knows of a family, they are very close to him. The husband of that wife was involved in a car accident, and as a result of this, he became paralyzed. So he cannot function, he cannot have sexual intercourse with his wife. But they want to remain as married couple. He said, according to Islam, can I marry that lady and she remains married to that man who is not going to have any kind of sexual relationship with her? Is it clear?
It is an odd case, but
an odd case.
It's one that happens.
I was really furious. How can you marry a lady who has been married or who is married now? Now, this is an odd case, as we said, but the very common mistake is marrying a lady while she is in her iddah.
I can imagine.
This is a very common situation. Oh, subhanallah. Before I move to this case, let me mention another case that came to us, which means that it is not an odd situation. A sister came with her son, who's an adult, and she said that she has been married 20 plus years ago. She became pregnant. She was about to give her first child. She started to have problems with her husband. And as a result of this, she separated from her husband.
What does this mean, separated?
I will discuss this. Okay, she was what? Separated from her husband. Then she was advised to get married to another person. She gave birth. She was separated from her husband. She got married to another person. Okay? Allegedly married to another person. She lived with the other person for some time. She had the children from the other person. And then she was again having problems with the other person. She left the other person and she was advised to marry a third person. She claimed that her family is a religious family and they attended the wedding and there was a big wedding, etc., etc. So she married to a third person. She lived with the third person for some time. She had the children from the third person. So she had the children from the first man, children from the second man, children from the third man. She lived with the third man for some time. Then she wants to separate from the third man. She now started to practice. She heard some Islamic lectures. Now Islam, is available on media, many courses. People are talking about Islam. So that was khair. And she started to know more about her deen. And then she started to question whether the first husband gave her divorce, the second husband gave her divorce, or what. I was shocked. I said to her, sister, are you telling me that you did not have divorce from the first one, divorce from the second one? Are you telling me this? And she said, yes. She said, I want a solution. SubhanAllah. By the way, we have few cases like this. Among the common cases that we have is some sisters who have again been separated from their husbands for 10 years. I remember a case, again, she said that she was separated from her husband and then she did not marry for around 14, 15 years. And then she got married to another man. SubhanAllah, the other man, he knew little bit about Islam. This other man, she was chatting with him, husband and wife, sitting, chatting. He told her about her life, and then she told him that she was separated from the first man without divorce. He told her, what are you talking about? And then they came to the Islamic Sharia Council so we can give them a ruling. In fact, SubhanAllah, now, while I'm talking to you, I remembered many cases.
So it's not something which is uncommon?
It is not something that is uncommon.
But where do people get
I don't know whether this is because it is the West or ignorance, but I am sure that because, see, there is no central record in the West, people fall into this mistake. Because there is no Islamic governance in the West, people fall into this mistake. Yeah, I remembered many cases now.
But where does this concept of separation come from? Because I've never heard of it from an Islamic point of view.
Yes, see, separation is a legal civil term that is used when a husband and wife have problems and they want to go for a civil divorce. As you know, that the civil divorce is a nightmare. They say in Britain that there are two types of nightmare. What is the first one? You are British. The first one is divorce. The second one is what? Moving house. Okay. The second one is moving house. So, as I told you, I had a number of cases. One of the cases, it happened that A brother called me regarding his sister. His sister, he said, she is now married to another person, and she had from the other person one child, the second child, third child. What is the question? The question, he said, he is from a country and there is a war in that country, etc. Her father wants her to have a legal status in that country. So in order to obtain a legal status in that country, he got her married to his cousin. Now she said that marriage was Suri, marriage Suri. What is marriage Suri? A formal marriage, not real marriage.
Okay.
That country is a Muslim country. I said, all Muslim countries, they still apply Islam, Sharia, maybe not fully in matters of marriage and divorce.
Personal matters especially.
Personal, as they say, Islamic personal law, أحوال شخصية. Okay, Islamic personal law. So I said to her, that marriage was an Islamic marriage. She said, yes, but we all know that I got married to my cousin because of what? To obtain a legal stay in that country. Similarly, something happens frequently like this in the UK. But the difference is the UK marriage is what? Is a non-Islamic civil marriage. And that marriage was a civil Islamic marriage. Okay, we need to discuss the ruling of this.
Inshallah. And we will continue, inshallah, after the break.
Inshallah.
Brothers and sisters, please come back in a couple of minutes where we will continue this very important discussion. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
There is a need to see what Islam says about human rights,
Kindness and care, justice for peace, human brotherhood.
the book of Allah, the glorious Quran, and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ.
Protecting humanity at large and promoting peaceful coexistence.
These are the two main sources for getting the human right.
Dr. Ahmad Ibn Saifuddin.
Islam has come with a complete system of protecting human rights under the Sharia.
Realize the progressive Islamic insights in human rights, a Muslim perspective, every Monday at 7 p.m. and repeat telecast at 12 p.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV.
Where truth is hidden, misleading quotations create confusion. Where truth is hidden, lack of knowledge and wisdom cause upheaval and commotion. Where truth is hidden, manipulated scriptures and twisted facts emerge. This very hidden truth creates false propaganda, mayhem, chaos, disorder, and turmoil in our lives and the world order. But is there anyone with courage and wisdom? What is the truth, and who has the courage to expose it? Because it's your right to know the truth.
Watch truth prevail and lies perish in Truth Exposed by Dr. Zakir Naik. Tonight at 9 p.m. and repeat telecast at 7:30 a.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV. Distinguished world-famous orators who dedicated their lives to convey the message of peace came together at one platform, the International Islamic Conference, with one vision, with one mission, Peace Mission.
I welcome all of you with Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Peace Mission, next on Peace TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again, brothers and sisters, to this discussion where we shall continue talking with our Sheikh Haitham Al Haddad on the conditions that might make the marriage contract valid or invalid. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Shall we continue discussing the obstacles that might make the nikah invalid?
Yes, Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. I was giving some examples of cases where some sisters were married while they were married previously. I mentioned this case where this sister said that she is married now, she had 3 children or 4 children, whatever, and she was previously married in her country, which happened to be a Muslim country. She said that she was married there. This is the allegation. She was married there in order to obtain a legal stay for herself in that country. I asked her, that country was a Muslim country, and she said, yes, it's a Muslim country. In all Muslim countries, they run by the Islamic personal law. So that was an Islamic marriage. I asked her another question. This, you said you got married to your cousin. Have you ever had any kind of intimacy? She said, no, nothing. All what happened, that in front of the judge, in order to show that he got married to me, he held my hand. That's all. Now we need to see the nikah marriage. The nikah contract is not any contract.
No.
So we cannot say that this nikah was carried out in order to obtain another reason or another aim other than the marriage.
So their intention was not marriage. For the purpose of the real marriage, it was for some other reason.
Yes, but does that invalidate this marriage? If that was in the UK, because the UK is a non-Muslim country, and we differentiated between the Islamic marriage and the civil marriage.
Yes.
But in that country, the civil marriage is an Islamic marriage because it is a Muslim country run by Islamic law in personal matters.
Yes.
So this is the issue. As I told you now, I remembered so many cases like this. What is the message? My dear brothers and sisters, be careful. If you doubt that this sister whom you are going to marry was previously married and she did not have a proper divorce, if you have just a doubt, then don't do it. Don't do this marriage. Again, I remember a couple with a child, and the husband said that this lady told me after a while that she was not properly divorced from. Now I read in Islam QA and some other websites that al-waladu lil-firash, the born baby, belongs to the wedlock, according to Islam. You know, in the story of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas and Utbah, the Prophet ﷺ said, al-waladu lil-firash. We will come to discuss this issue. Al-waladu lil-firash. The walad, the child, belongs to who? To the wedlock.
So the husband and wife at that time?
Who were identified as a husband and wife at that time. Hence, this man said that if the child belongs to the wedlock, this child will not be mine, but he is mine. It is because of this lady who did not tell me that she did not obtain a valid divorce from her ex-husband. And he was so angry.
As you can imagine.
Of course. All of a sudden, he were told that his wife did not obtain a proper divorce from the first husband. And then he's married to her. What is this relationship? Is it halal relationship? Is it haram relationship? Then what added to this problem is he read that al-waladu lil-firash, as the Prophet ﷺ said. So in conclusion, my dear brothers and sisters, be careful. The lady has to be free from any doubt of marriage. And the common problem is what many sisters, they get married while they are in iddah. Oh, in the Islamic Sharia Council, we have countless number of cases where the sisters come and say that they were previously married, then they were divorced, and they got married to another person during the iddah.
SubhanAllah. Am I right, Sheikh, in saying that if, for whatever reason, the nikah is invalid, that anything that happens after that, in terms of any relationship, is a form of zina? Or does it depend?
No, not really. Not really. No, this is not true.
Okay.
Okay? We might elaborate on this issue further, but this is not true. But what adds to the problem, to the volume of the problem, is sometimes men, when they question the legality of their children from this marriage, whom they say that it is invalid because the wife, his wife, is a wife of another man. So he starts questioning the legitimacy of his children. And we say the conclusion, by the way, the conclusion regarding this point, as we mentioned it, is that the children who were born in a nikah that is doubtful. So there is a possibility that it is invalid, but there is another possibility that it is valid, or it was invalid because of reasons that the husband and wife were unaware of, or at least the husband was unaware of. So this is considered to be nikah fasid. Yeah, invalid nikah. However, as Ibn Qudama in his book Al-Mughni said, by consensus, the children from nikah fasid, the children from such nikah, are legitimate.
Okay.
And they will be attributed to who? Not to the first man, but to the second man. Yeah, this should be clear. Anyway, we can continue discussing this point, but I hope that it is clear. So, my dear brother, if you want to get married and you have 1% doubt, yeah, 1% doubt that this lady is not free from any other wedlock, don't marry her. Full stop.
So if separation ever comes into the conversation, this is a big issue.
Separation, which is applied in the West, in the UK, and in some other European countries, they have this. Separation does not mean talaq. Does not mean valid talaq. Okay, I hope that this is clear. So this is the first obstacle, that the lady is previously married without proper divorce. Okay. Secondly, if the lady is mahram to this man, yeah, mahram to this man means that he is haram to marry her because of either a permanent reason or a temporary reason. And the scholars, as you know, they say al-muharramat fi nikah of two types. The haram women to marry are of two types. Haram to marry temporary and haram to marry permanently. Haram to marry permanently, as Allah Jalla wa Ala says, حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم وبناتكم وأخواتكم وعماتكم وخالاتكم وبنات الأخ وبنات الأخت وأمهاتكم اللاتي أرضعنكم وأخواتكم من الرضاعة وأمهات نسائكم وربائبكم اللاتي في حجوركم من نسائكم اللاتي دخلتم بهن.
So this covers breastfeeding as well.
Okay, we'll come to breastfeeding. Yeah, Allah Jalla wa Ala mentioned, okay, breastfeeding here. So who are prohibited for you to marry? They are known, listed in this ayah. I don't want to get into the details of this because we will continue in this program maybe forever. But the mother, as Allah Jalla wa Ala said, ummahatukum, the mothers, your daughters, your sisters, okay, your aunties, maternal direct aunties, paternal aunties, again direct aunties, because in some communities they call any elderly lady auntie.
Out of respect.
Out of respect. No, out of respect is something, but sometimes in some cultures, any cousin who is a lady and they think that they are not going to marry her, then she is a mahram. And they touch her, they hug her, she hugs them, because they look at them as children and mothers, and so this is auntie. No, she's cousin, not auntie. So that's why we want to clarify it, okay? Maternal auntie, paternal auntie. And then Allah Jalla wa Ala said, وَبَنَاتُ الْأَخِ وَبَنَاتُ الْأُخْتِ. Your niece, direct niece. Let me clarify, what does it mean? The daughter of your brother or the daughter of your sister. Yeah? وَبَنَاتُ الْأَخِ وَبَنَاتُ الْأُخْتِ. And وَأُمَّهَاتُكُمُ اللَّاتِي أَرْضَعْنَكُمْ. Your mothers out of breastfeeding. Yes, the ladies that breastfed you. We don't want to get into the rulings of breastfeeding. Okay? Similarly, the akhawat min al-rada', sisters from breastfeeding. Your sisters from breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Okay? Then Allah Jalla wa Ala mentioned, وَأُمَّهَاتُ نِسَائِكُمْ, the mothers of your wives. The mothers of your wives are haram for you to marry permanently.
Permanently, subhanAllah.
So, let me clarify this point. If a person gets married to a sister, her mother becomes haram for him permanently. Even if he divorces that lady, her mother, okay, or his mother-in-law, her mother is haram for him forever.
SubhanAllah, it's a very important point, especially as the point we mentioned before, when you're not sure if your previous marriage was valid or invalid.
Yes. Yeah.
SubhanAllah. Inshallah, we'll continue maybe on this point in the future.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Brothers and sisters, please return to the discussion in the future when we continue to elaborate on details with the obstacles of marriage. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نكاح مبارك زواج مبارك النكاح من سنتي ما قال النبي والصحيح نكاح